This week on Fandom Metals, we're talking Spider-Man, Lord of the Rings, Chick-Fil-A streaming service, and much more. Hey.
Heyo.
How's it going?
It's going so great. I'm very happy to be here.
We are down in another one this week. Deontay is working those night shifts, so we'll be back on track with all three of us again next week. But yeah, I think actually tomorrow, me and Deontay should be doing a review of The Crow. So we'll have a
Ooh.
separate segment about The Crow, comparing and talking about the new one and the old one. This ought to be a very interesting conversation. Maybe
I can't wait.
slightly argumentative,
It's
but
good to have opinions.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's not fun when everybody has the same opinion. So,
It's true. It's true.
but yeah, let's jump into our subscription. So, a lot of you that watch us every week haven't subscribed to our channel. So, what are you doing? Hit subscribe right now so you can get notified every time that we upload it. You don't want to miss out. So,
Hit that subscribe. Do
yes,
it.
yes. And also, we'll talk about our giveaway real quick, and then we'll jump into Marvel Media.
Okay.
So we are giving away a Marvel Legends Red Skull autographed by Ross Marquand himself. To enter to win, just have to follow our YouTube channel. The more you comment on our videos, the better your chance of winning is. Once we reach 1,000 subscribers, we will pick a winner and ship it straight to you.
I love that Hail Hydra. I just watched
Yeah.
Endgame last night, so
So I literally almost turned Endgame on like 2 nights ago. I was like, it makes me feel at home. Like it's one of those you can turn on, fall asleep to, you watch all of it. It don't matter. It's just great. But yeah, so let's get started with some Marvel movies. So you found a link this week about some new Funko Pops?
I did. So, there are some new Funko Pops that are available to order actually right now, as well as a couple of ones that are on pre-order. You can get these on either Amazon or Entertainment Earth. The ones that you see right now are the ones that are the pre-order ones, so you can see the Carnageized, the Ghost, Spider, Iron Man, as well as Captain America and Black Panther. And then they have these split ones, which I think are totally neat, because they're like half the real character and half like when they're
Yeah.
dressed up. Um, so I thought they were like super neat. They're only like $12. When you
Those
get
look
to,
sick.
yeah, if
Like
you
for
order
real.
off of Amazon, they're like, free shipping. They're not doing,
Mhm.
I don't think, the pre-order, but Entertainment Earth is doing the pre-order. And if you get like at least $60 worth of like stuff, the shipping is free.
Nice.
But the regular ones that are available right now that just came out are like the symbiote Spider-Man.
Mhm.
There's like an Asgardian armor glow in the dark like Spider-Man, which is really cool looking,
Okay.
as well as a Miles Morales Iron Spider. All really cool looking.
You said they're only like $12?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
wild because
dude.
like so many like you go to the stores around here, I mean, they're like $20, $25
Yeah,
a piece. And like those look way better than most of your Funko Pops you see on the shelf in the store.
yeah. I
Huge
guess
Funko
they
Pop
have to
fan.
make like a profit, so they have
Mhm.
to buy it for something and then sell it back
Double
or
the
whatever.
price. But yeah, so it's funny when Funko Pops came out, I first seen them, I'm like, those look silly. I would never collect those. And like it was years later, I caught myself buying one, and then like that's all it took. Like it took buying one, and then I was hooked. And now I've got so many. I mean, hell, I got two giant ones right there. That's actually all these are Funko Pops. The Iron Legion, that's a frog Thor in a jar from Loki season 1.
It's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, I love them.
Yeah, I have a couple. I used to decorate my desk when I had a desk at work, and I just had a bunch of Funko Pops like on it. They came from like Loot Crate, if you've ever
Mhm.
heard of that
Yep.
subscription. I had that for a full year.
Was it worth it?
Yes, it
Nice.
was. There was like a couple of things that I like never even thought like I was gonna get into,
Mhm.
and like one is like a Hellboy fist piggy bank. And I had
Pretty cool.
never watched, yeah, I'd never watched like Hellboy up until that
Yeah.
point. And then I saw that and I was like, huh, that's pretty neat.
I've never used a piggy bank, but if I had that in a loot crate, I would probably start using a piggy bank.
The funny thing is I don't use it. Like I'm I don't want to use
Just
it
for
because like
looks.
yeah, because the stopper is like goddamn impossible to get out and then put back in. I did it once and I was like, ah, never again.
Nice. So we got some Black Noir news. Or Black Noir. Wow. Spider-Man Noir. The
Black Black.
boys is still heavy on my mind. Like I'm so ready for that next season. But yes, Spider-Man Noir. So we all know it's going to be coming to Amazon. It's going to star Nick Cage, but they're already letting people go for budget reasons. So Lord and Miller, they're actually letting them go. Uh, this is not a good sign, like right off the bat.
No.
Like you're already struggling with budget issues, and like when it comes to Marvel, we see what happens when you cut budgets and don't do what you need to do. We see how the fans react to it. So this is starting already to make me a slightly leery of it before this even comes out. And I got excited about this, not because of Nick Cage, but at the same time, I kind of want to see Nick Cage. Pray to God he don't screw this up. But I liked him in the Spiderverse as Spider
Mhm.
Noir. Like I
Yeah.
feel like he pulled it off really well. And this is a character that's so grounded. I think he could do this. I think he pull it off and look pretty decent, long as they don't get too low budget.
Well, the good thing is that these directors are still doing Beyond the Spider-Verse, so we don't have to worry about not seeing them
Right.
again. But Sony had already canceled one of their Spider-Man projects. They were supposed to do Silk,
Mm-hmm.
as well as Spider-Man Noir or Black Noir, Black Black.
Silk
Um,
Society, wasn't it, or something like that?
I don't remember. I just remember reading it as Silk.
Yeah.
So maybe it was supposed to be a Silk Society or something. But they already canceled it because they wanted to focus on Spider-Man Noir. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and now we're still in the middle of this like song and dance of all right, well, their contract is almost up and like to create this, so like what are they gonna do?
it's already off to a rough start. Which we
Yes.
we've been teased this, I think, for a year now at least. Like
Yeah.
I've heard of this for like a year, and like I don't know. There's no telling. I don't think there's any idea of when this is even supposed to be coming out. Is it?
No,
Yeah.
there's literally no words because it's like very much still in development. And if
Right.
you're letting directors go, like now you don't have like a vision and stuff. I don't even think that there's like a script completely written for it yet.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
This is fine.
What you want to hear. Yeah.
Everything's fine.
Everything's on fire.
Yeah. But I mean, what do we expect? It's not in the MCU. It's kind of a repeated track record with Sony. Even though like this is going to be an Amazon thing, like it's still heavy Sony involved. So
Yeah. Yeah,
oh
because
well.
Sony still owns the Spider-Man, right?
Right. Right. Mm, rest in peace. Uh, also Marina Baccarin has been talking how she's really wanting to play Copycat in the Marvel or MCU, which would be interesting to see her come in. That's also a Wade Wilson love interest
Okay.
in the comics. I think she also says she's interested in playing Catwoman in DC. Like
Yes,
I know this is
she
the
did.
Marvel deal, but it's kind of like a double take here.
Yeah, in the same sentence, she's like, "I think I could pull off either Copycat or a Catwoman," and I was just like, "Seriously though, I could go for either."
Honestly, like I would rather her say the MCU just because I'm partial to it. But like visually, I could immediately picture her as a good Catwoman. Like I really could. So I don't feel like she could do herself no wrong, whichever one she wants to do. But I could probably tell you which one's going to make her more money.
Is it the Copycat because of Deadpool?
Oh no, it's just Marvel in general because it's more
Oh, okay.
successful than DC.
Well,
They
yep.
got a little bit more longer proven history of being successful. DC
Yeah.
still trying to do another reboot. So
Could you even imagine her being like Catwoman right now with Robert Pattinson's like
we've already got that. We've already had Zoe Kravitz as
oh,
Catwoman.
yeah. Yeah, so
So
it would have to be a different, like, universe
yeah,
there. Okay.
and I feel like her Catwoman would be very similar to Zoe Kravitz. Like I feel like they could pull off a very similar like style Catwoman. So she would have to be a Catwoman in like James Gunn's Brave and the Bold, like his line of Batman that's going to be into the new DC
Okay.
universe. Because
Yeah.
Matt Reeves is going to be like an Elseworld Batman.
I wonder if like she would think about playing like a different villain, like Poison Ivy or something.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see her playing a good Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
We need to focus more on Marvel though. Like with her playing a Marvel. What other Marvel roles could she be? uh, I gotta
Um.
quit being so biased. But anyways, we'll jump into the next one before I go off on my Marvel tangent. We got some Spider-Verse news. Karan Sony, who plays Dopinder in Deadpool, he says only thing he can say about it right now is that they are deep into the production of it. Like they are going at it right now. Just and he's like, it takes a long time to make this animated series or animated movie, and obviously like take their time because like the last two is taking a while, but they
Mhm.
have proved to be worth the while that they've taken. So
Yeah, I mean, originally it was supposed to come out this year, but because of the writer strikes and everything that had
right.
happened, hopefully, theoretically, we would get it next year. And that's kind of the way that it's seeming to happen
Mhm.
right now is that we're going to get it at some point in time next year. But since we didn't hear anything about it at D23 or San Diego Comic Con, like it's like up in the air.
Oh yeah, because I mean, if it was too far along, we know we would have got some kind of teaser because they would have got the crowd so pumped over that.
Oh yeah, one
Like
hundred
like
percent.
visually, it's one of my favorite animated projects to watch is the first two, and
Yeah.
like we seen some teaser pics of I think a new Batman Beyond look, and it also has that same. I don't know if it's the same artist or not, but I think they like took the notes and it's like yeah this works because it looks just like the Spider-Man animated movies from Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, and
Yeah.
it's visually appealing as well.
I recently just watched Across the Spider-Verse again the other day, and,
Mhm.
like, I actually really paid attention to the colors in it, and it was really cool to see, like, how, Gwen Stacy's, like, emotions, um,
Yes.
were, like, the colors and how, like, when she was alone, it was all dark, but then when she hugged her dad, it became all, like, light, or when he was around, there was, like, a light around him. Um, the way that they did that was just it was so beautiful. It was so
Yes.
touching.
It's so beautiful, and, like, the creativity and the attention to detail, like you just said, there's so many layers of detail in that animation that they did, and on
Mhm.
top of that, it still gives you that to me, it gives you that, like, comic book page art feel as well still, and,
Mhm.
like, it's unique, it's one of a kind, truly.
Yeah.
Like, I wish some more animators would pick up on it. Obviously, you don't wanna oversaturate anything with the same animation, like, keep X-Men 97 like it is. That's
Yeah.
just beautiful as well. But
Yeah.
but visually, just the way they work with their colors and layers,
Mhm.
it's great.
Yeah. Yeah, 100.
Uh, Next on the list, I'm so excited about this. We are getting James Spader back as Ultron.
Yes.
Uh, oh my god. Ultron was one of those that I felt was gone and it was here and gone in one movie. I mean, Age of
Yeah.
Ultron, Avengers, and like man, I love James Spader's sarcasm and like I don't know if you've ever watched The Blacklist, but
No.
oh my god, it's so good. Like he's like one of FBI's most wanted fugitives, and he turns himself in. And I don't want to give stuff away, but he says he's only talking with one agent, and it's the agent that started her first day there, and she doesn't know why. Nobody knows why he requested her, and he helps takes down people across the world with the FBI in regards of I don't know, but how he talks and acts as Ultron
Mhm.
is how he talks and acts as this person on the blacklist, and so like it's great. It's I love James Spader. He's a great actor, but uh, what do you think? Like, how do you think we're going to get Ultron? Do you have any theories? Like, do you think? Because I mean, when we seen Age of Ultron at the very end,
Mhm.
Vision has him that last spot in the woods that
Yeah.
Captain America threw down off the floating Sokovia,
Yeah.
and we see a bright glow of yellow, and we
Yellow,
think that
yeah.
he's destroyed him, but I don't know. I mean, how would you like to see him brought in?
Like, I'm hoping that they're gonna play off of that, like, Spider-Man, I think it was Far From Home,
Hmm.
or, it was one of the 2,
That's Far From
or
Home.
yeah, oh, okay.
I think so. That or Homecoming, one of the two.
Yeah. So in one of those movies, like he's Spider-Man, Peter Parker is going through the duffel bag, and he picks up like Ultron's head, and it's glowing red.
Hmm.
And how we like saw throughout the Age of Ultron, the glowing red means that like his subconscious is like activated in that like
Right.
head. Um, so like I'm hoping that like maybe this like white vision isn't good.
I hope he's not.
I kind of like I want like one good vision and like a bad vision,
But
and
that's
you
the
get
only
to
vision we have now.
yeah. I mean, for now,
The other vision's like decapitated, arms cut off, legs cut off, and wide eyed.
yeah. I mean, but still, that's
Yeah.
for now. Like you never know, and or like maybe another android, like maybe a sentinel or something, finds him
Right.
and like puts him back together. Like I don't really know how like the comics do it or
Hmm.
anything, but I'm interested to see like what they do with it because it's supposed to be the third installation of like Wanda Vision. So it's like Wanda Vision, and then you have the Agatha All Along,
Right.
and now you have this one, which was supposed to be called Vision Quest, but now they've changed the name to an unknown
Hmm.
Vision series or
And
movie.
really, this coming out, like when it does come out, as of right now anyways, this is going to be really our first, I wouldn't say trilogy, but like third installment kind of collaborative show. Like
Hmm.
we've had season 1, season 2 of things. We've had, standalones of everything as well, but we've never had actually like a chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3 of anything like we're getting on this. And
Yeah,
I'm glad it's this. I'm not gonna lie, like I love Loki. But I feel like we're kind of done with the seasons of Loki the way we kind of
yeah,
ended on that.
hmm,
But what I love WandaVision.
yeah.
Like I loved it. And like I read a thing today about Agatha on getting some early screenings and some reviews, and like they are so people, I guess people don't have high hopes for it, but some of these critics in these early screenings, people are literally saying the exact words that it's surprisingly really good.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And so
I
that's
mean,
positive to hear, but
yeah. I mean, like with how Marvel series have been going, like when
yeah.
we have some duds, I still haven't seen Secret Invasion, and I probably won't. Um, it's that's like the only thing Marvel that I haven't fucked with, like that.
Secret Sorry, go ahead.
You want to fight me so hard right now?
No, 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 I don't. Like, it's just like Secret Invasion gets a lot of hate, right?
Yeah.
And there's things in it to dislike, but I don't think Secret Invasion would have been spat upon as much if it actually would have just been a movie.
Yeah.
Like let everything that happened in it as a movie, and they brought that out as a movie. But I think the way they chopped it up into the episodes made people wait, and then the way it ended, I think that's why. I think that's where it gets a lot of hate. Secret
Okay.
Invasion has a couple things, sure, that's you can pick apart just like everything else,
Yeah.
but overall, it's not awful. Like my biggest complaint is they killed off Maria Hill, uh, and oh
I
wait,
love Colby Smulders. I mean,
yeah,
I
yeah,
like
you
I
should know this. Okay,
yeah.
yeah. I'm like crap,
How
spoiler,
long has
but
this been out? Like,
yeah, it's true. But
it's fine.
it's not as bad. It's not as bad as what people make it out to be. I can tell you that. So don't go looking into it. Go into it open minded. I promise you that. And plus, you get to look at them back to back to back. You don't have to wait a week now.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Which is how I prefer to watch my series.
yeah.
Like, I prefer to binge watch it, but, since doing this podcast now, I actually have to stay on top of my shit. So, thank you for that. I now
Uh,
have to wait.
but a lot of people I've seen like different rumors and different ideas and of this Vision. We'll call it Vision Quest for now since we don't know the name,
Mhm.
and kind of wondering like where we're going to go from this. Obviously, like we're going to get Ultron and Vision in this, but like what if there's like a little piece of Ultron that was laying dormant in Vision or whatever, and when he like transferred his thoughts and memories and everything
Yeah.
over to him in WandaVision, he also transferred that Ultron into him, and then now he's taking off and he's on his own because I mean he's brand new to the world. He was just created. You know,
Yesterday.
we get an Ultron maybe that takes over that white Vision somehow, and James Spader's actually voicing White Vision with Ultron taking over him. I don't know. They probably won't go that route, but because I think they're going to want to try to keep a Vision around. But I don't know. There's so many ideas, and then also we're like, people are wondering if we're going to get Elizabeth Olsen back
Yeah.
as a version of Wanda, where like in the comics, the White Vision actually had a family, and
Hmm.
he created an android wife that was like an android version of Wanda, and then they had two children. And so I don't know. Wouldn't that be wild though? We get Elizabeth Olsen back, but we don't see her as what we thought we would see her, and we see her in an android form that he created. That would be wild.
I would love that. I would love to see that. I did watch a video earlier today on that, and I was like thinking about it, and I was like, oh man, that would be like really cool and interesting
It'd be a unique
to
take
like,
on it.
yeah,
Like it's
because
so different.
she was the one that made like him and the kids
Right.
in WandaVision. So now if he would make like, and it would be the reverse.
Yeah, and make
Um,
that makes sense.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
storytelling stuff, and then to me, even though he's an android and they're not supposed to feel, we see that he does feel things, obviously. And
yeah,
then we get my favorite line ever delivered to him by isn't grief just what love persevering, is that or something like that? He says, I can't remember, or I think I just chopped that all up now.
I don't know.
But yeah. I think he says, he's like, "What is grief if not love persevering?" And
Okay,
like that's such a deep line, and it's
yeah,
coming from an android, and so we see that connection. And I never in my life thought I would feel such emotion and so heavy hearted for like an android and a human having a relationship. But Marvel did it; they did it. And to me, by him creating that family, like a reverse of what she did, would just like make it so much more deeper and real, and showing what she meant to him as well as we get to see what he meant to her.
yeah.
So, oh my god, I would love that.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I would too. And I mean, like another human android type dynamic that you really like felt for was in Aliens Romulus.
Yeah, yeah,
So I like that they have like that human aspect to the androids, even though like people are like super afraid and worried
yeah, yeah.
about that. But yeah, I'm excited to see where like they take it. I think that James Spader was an amazing Ultron, and I missed him in What If.
Mm. Well, oh yeah, well, but we got great Ross Marquand. But
Yeah,
but I will agree with you. Like when I first, I love Ross, but like at the same time, when I heard it, I'm like, man, it just don't give you that same Ultron feel.
yeah, yeah. Because James Spader is just like that dark and broody type.
Yeah, and that sarcasm, that witty
Hmm.
sarcasm, like
Yeah,
yeah.
100%.
So we mentioned and talked Thunderbolts last week. Stuff we seen in the trailer. You brought it to my attention that I didn't know that they're in the Avengers Tower,
Yeah,
and there's so many speculations and theories, and we're just going to lightly touch on this real quick. But like there's theories that Val, which we kind of mentioned, did Val buy the tower? But then like I was thinking, and I'm like, does is Val in a situation where she can afford the entire like Avengers Tower? Because I mean, like she's working with what, the CIA or something like that, wasn't she? And I feel like in Wakanda Forever, but so I'm like I don't know if she actually could afford that. But maybe what makes sense to me is someone else bought the tower that she's working hand in hand with,
okay,
and so maybe she's like running the tower, she's like over the tower,
yeah,
but that still leaves us out there like, is she behind the curtain working with Kingpin, or Norman Osborn? These are two people who could easily afford something like that.
right,
But then, we another thing that reason I wonder about this is, the Kingpin or Norman Osborn both would want to have their own team of, hero
yeah,
anti-heroes, whatever you want to call it, for to keep in their pocket to do their bidding.
yeah,
And so like, with that also getting the asterisk on the end of Thunderbolts, is it either they're going to change the name of the Thunderbolts to actually what this team's name's going to be, or will it be Thunderbolts and then underneath it'd be like Thunderbolts the Dark Avengers, or Thunderbolts the something else, or will
yeah,
it just, or will they eventually be called Thunderbolts, and then that's what we get at the beginning of the movie, and then maybe at the end, how like with Falcon and Winter Soldier, it changes at the very end to Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
That's when Thunderbolts change into their new name, Dark Avengers or whatever else name, and maybe that's why it's an asterisk. I don't know. This
And that's
asterisk is bothering me.
that's honestly what I think it is right now. I think it's like
Mm,
kind of like what Ryan Reynolds was trying to possibly do with
mhm.
Deadpool and Wolverine and making it look like something else, and then them having that Deadpool and Wolverine like come out and be like, "Nah, this is actually what it is."
Right.
Um, so I think that like I think they're gonna keep it as Thunderbolt, um, and keep that, and then everybody's gonna be kind of like being like trying to be killed off or whatever. They come together as a team. They meet up in the Avengers Tower, and that's when Val tells them that she's making a team, and they're her Dark Avengers. And you're gonna see like a file come out, and that's how it's all gonna start.
That'd be cool. And they like I know like I think the play in the comics of Dark Avengers was just because dark as in like villainous,
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. But like they could actually take that the term dark and use it as in like more of like an undercover rogue Avengers, and that's
Okay,
why they called them Dark Avengers. Maybe I don't know.
I
That's
like
there.
that.
That would not be as cartoony, comicky, if they used it because they use the term when people go dark.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
No,
that would
I
make
don't think that they
sense,
would do that. I think that they would kind of be like spy like.
right?
So I do think that like a Rogue Avengers or something like that.
Hmm.
Um,
Almost kind of like I hate to even use this, but like Suicide Squad, like you were here but you weren't here type situation where like if you die, just realize you're not going to be labeled or talked about as a hero because your sacrifice is going to be one of those things.
sure.
I don't know. I'm so ready for Thunderbolts. Like I'm pumped. I'm pumped. Like every movie next year, I'm so pumped for. Like the every title project. Oh my god! Like I think they're all going to be big. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
And really, I think they're going to give us a lot more of that connectivity we've been missing the past couple of years.
Mhm.
So I think that's also half the excitement for it because
Yeah.
even
And that's what you see like with like phase 1 or whatever of like the past Marvel is that like they're all kind of like one-offs and they weren't kind of all connected and they weren't connected until they were connected.
mhm.
And then you're like, "Oh shit, wait." And then that was in there and then oh my god, how did I not see that before?
And then all these naysayers are going to be like, okay, I retract my words. It all makes sense now.
I'm
People are
excited
impatient.
for phase 6 and
Mm,
yeah.
for sure.
I can't wait to see what they do with it, man.
So you ready to discuss some DC?
Actually, right before we do
Oh,
that,
oh, oh,
we did get some Spider-Man 4 news.
oh! You're
Uh,
right.
so it was released either last night or the night prior. That we got some breaking news that Spider-Man is actually going to be starting to get filmed next year. So this is Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland. So it's going to begin at the beginning. Yeah, it's going to start filming at the beginning of next year, and it's going to pick up right after like Far From Home, like finished,
Mm.
where you see everybody doesn't remember who he is.
Oh, No Way Home.
No Way Home. Sorry, thank you.
No, no, no. You're good.
And then it's supposed to be theoretically released in July of 2026. So it's supposed to be between Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars is when we're supposed to get this movie.
Interesting. So that's wild. Cause like, hmm. So like I'm sitting here thinking like that's that means does that mean we're not going to get to see him then in Avengers Doomsday at all?
I mean, like he could theoretically like have a cameo, but like I think that this
Hmm.
I mean like I was like watching a video today, the on
Right.
new rock stars, and it was talking about like the repercussions of having um, Victor Von Doom look like Tony Stark, because like
Right.
how theoretically like mind-boggling is that going to be for like your cast?
Right.
Um, so like how what if like he's not in Doomsday or he is in Doomsday and like they briefly meet and now like he has to go through like the one person who should have known who I was
Right.
he's now like this bad guy and doesn't know who I am.
So actually, that as much as like initially, I'm like, man, I really want to see Spider-Man before Doomsday and in Doomsday, because when you think of Avengers movies, automatically you think Spider-Man's going to be in them.
Yeah.
But actually, considering the fact what you just mentioned with RDJ, in his face, if we get to even see his face, surely they're not going to give RDJ a role without seeing his face. So I'm not sure how they're going to go about this. But anyways, uh, that would be a little bit more of a build up to not have Spider-Man and Doomsday, and wait for that being one of the huge theatrical emotional moments in Secret Wars.
I'm gonna bawl my eyes out.
Oh my god! Like, cause that's honestly, we don't know what they have up their sleeve, but I can almost guarantee you that when they finally cross each other's paths between Spider-Man and Doom, it's probably going to
Mhm.
be one of the heaviest moments of those two Avengers movies.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that would make sense to wait to have that heavy moment in Secret Wars, and then build up all this anticipation, build up all this other stuff in Doomsday, and they never cross. Like, as much as we want to see that, they never cross until Secret Wars. That would it, it would suck, but it makes sense, like theatrically for real.
Yeah, or like the end credit scene of the Spider-Man 4, since we know it's between Doomsday and Secret Wars, that
Hmm.
we see RDJ and Spider-Man back on the same screen since Endgame,
Mm.
and that's like the after credit scene, is them seeing each
Uh,
other, and then
and
him
leave us
saying
hanging.
Mr. Stark, and then this
Oh,
screen goes black.
I just got chills. I'm not even gonna lie. I just got chills. That's what I want to see. That is what I want to see actually. And it would be a love hate thing. I would be so mad it's over. Because are they're a year apart, right? The two Avenger movies.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
Doomsday is supposed to be in May of 2026, and then this was supposed to come out in July of 2026, and
Right.
then May of 2025, I think, is when Secret Wars is supposed to come out.
And so we don't have a date also for Doctor Strange. Would that be 3? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Doctor Strange 3. And so I think Doctor Strange 3 is going to be one of the untitled movies that comes out in between the two Avengers movies as well. I could be
I hope
wrong.
so.
They may drop it in between, but I can almost bet they're going to not drop it in between the Avengers movies. We'll get him and Clea because they took off in between dimensions and stuff, and
Hmm.
I bet that's going to be it'll be Doctor Strange 4 or 3, and then we'll get the Spider-Man 4, and then we'll get the Secret Wars.
I
So
hope that we actually get Shang-Chi before Secret Wars, though.
I do too. Oh, I feel like we should get Shang-Chi before Doomsday, personally.
I don't think that's going to happen, but we
Probably
can
not.
hope.
Yeah. So Shang-Chi, real quick before we jump into DC, I'm not trying to get any side tangents, but so Shang-Chi was one of those movies I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go see it, obviously, because it's Marvel. But I didn't go into it with any high expectations, didn't really
Hmm.
know what to expect. So I wasn't super educated on Shang-Chi from the comics. But it's one of those, I would say that is one of the Marvel movies from Phase 4 that probably impressed me the most, that I absolutely loved.
Do you think it was because you had no expectations?
Uh I don't know. No, I don't think so. Because like the acting was great, like visually, like when they went to K'un-Lun or wherever that was, the other dimension.
Hmm.
Like I loved it. Like everything visually was about it. The choreography of the fighting, like I don't know, I loved it from start to finish. That the perfect amount of comedy.
Yeah.
Aquafina and him was hilarious.
I hope that
Uh,
she's in number two.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yes. They have to keep her in. Well, I mean, hell, Wong uh had her come with him, through the portal together. So I feel like they're almost like a dynamic duo, like from here on out. She's got to be.
I hope so.
But
God,
yeah,
yeah.
I love Shang-Chi though. Like I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I have been ready for Shang-Chi too. But yeah, we'll start discussing some DC now. Finally.
Let's go. All
All right.
right. So, Christopher Reeves, he has this new documentary coming out on November 1st. And it if you guys don't know who Christopher Reeves is, he's Superman. The like original Superman that I know of. I grew up, like watching this Superman. The trailer came out, and man, like the feels. Like, I didn't know what happened to him.
Oh, you
I
didn't?
just kind of no, I just
Okay.
assumed that he was like just like he did his movies and he was just like, cool, did my life, like did my thing, and I got
Oh,
out and
okay.
I was all good. So to see kind of like his family talking about him and
Mm,
like that he got into this accident with the horse and he grew up with horses and that he was still so strong like until the end and he was making people like feel still that like Superman like
mm.
you're my superhero and he's like nah I'm not a superhero I'm just like a regular dude uh, and to see that it was really amazing. I can't wait to see this documentary because like I don't know how they're gonna do it. Um,
I'll be honest with you, like we was talking earlier, I like I like Christopher Reeves and like I've known of his story and like I know of the great things he's done in since his accident to help other people
yeah,
walk again and different things and the contribution he's done to society and but like man that trailer it'll choke you up
yeah.
like I ain't gonna lie I got a lump in my throat I was like whew like if the trailer can do that I can only imagine what the full documentary is gonna do.
I love documentaries, and I know you do too, because we talk
Hmm.
about documentaries all the time. Um, so like I'm excited to see this. I don't know what streaming services it's going to be on yet because I know that it's supposed to be in theaters on I think November 1st for a little bit
Hmm.
until it does like come out onto streaming. But definitely going to watch it as soon as it does populate there.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm ready for it. It was the documentary. I pretty much like I didn't know that we need, but we need
Yeah,
because
yeah,
there's so much of his story throughout the years. Especially people in the older generation who grew up with that. That their Superman as a kid that know a lot of his story, but they're saying like there's so much in this that nobody knows that the world's going to know for the first time. So.
yeah,
And I that's what I love about documentaries actually is like you
yeah.
get that gritty behind the scenes like details of things and people's lives that
Hmm.
you you think you knew but you just scratched the surface of and
Yeah.
there's usually so many surprising things that you didn't even realize so
Yeah, that's my favorite thing to say is that like people in upper management or even like celebrities,
mm,
they're all human. Like everybody has that human side of them, whether
yes
you see it or not. Like it's always amazing to get to see that side, especially with celebrities, because usually you just see like them acting or them like running from the paparazzi.
right
Um,
or
and
just the crazy stuff.
Dancing with Knives, yes. So I'm excited to see this because like it's like super slash man
Hmm.
instead of like this Superman, and I just
Yeah,
love what they did with it because it looks really heartwarming and good.
it does for sure.
So the
uh
next thing that we're going to talk about is Mike Flanagan and James Gunn are supposed to be working on a new DC project. Now, what the DC project is, we don't really know at this point, but we do know who Mike Flanagan is. If you guys don't know, he is the director from Doctor Sleep. The Fall of the House of Usher is the most recent one that we have seen. The Haunting of Hill House, Mirrors, like
I love
um,
Haunting of Hill House.
it's all of his stuff is just like so good. And if you know, you know. He always has those artifacts that are always in every single one of his movies. It's his stamp, it's his
Hmm.
signature. Um, and like it's that mirror with the like the
Hmm.
gaudy frame. So
Yeah,
I'm
I didn't
wondering.
even know about that till you told me earlier. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I'll send you like a whole article on it. Like
Uh-huh.
I got you. Um, but I'm interested to see if he's going to be doing this film,
Mm.
even though it's like a DC film, like how can they get it in there? Because it's like it's a tall like mirror.
There's no telling. And like I know he kind of like teased it. Like they didn't even fully come out that he's doing something, but just the way he teased it, I think it's I think it's almost certain because literally he was asked in the interview, talk about what was DC project what he liked to do if he was asked, and he's like, well, and he's also not with James Gunn, but with someone else in the DC studio with Gunn. Like he actually just recently met with them, and it was while he was on vacation, but then there was a business meeting intertwined with that vacation. And
Hmm.
he's like, we've been talking. I've been talking to Gunn quite a bit, and he's like, and I would love to do a project with him. And then he was asked about what he would like to do, and so yeah, and he was very vague about it as well. And so it was almost like, I think this is happening. I think this is happening. But with him doing so much horror and stuff, like what possibilities do you think? Like what good fit for a character storytelling you think you could do in the DC verse?
Oh man. Um, I think that if they were to do like a Two Face,
Okay.
um, like show, because it's kind of got like that gritty like background to it,
Hmm.
and that way they could use that mirror. Because in my mind, I'm like they have to use the mirror in some type of thing, so they have to use the mirror, and that's how Two Face sees, like Harvey Dent sees that he has a Two Face.
Right.
Um, so like that was my thought. What about you? Like, what do you think that they could do?
Honestly, I don't know. So one thing I've seen someone online say, they're like, with him doing horror aspect, and like I don't think they even took into consideration the mirror thing, which I guess the mirror thing you could probably be pretty creative with it about
Yeah,
in a
it
lot
could
of
be
things.
in a junkyard. It doesn't even
Yeah.
have to be like actually used.
But people are like, any kind of like creature esque like character from DC, like Swamp Thing, or if they did a live version of Creature Commandos,
Mhm.
or any kind of creature esque or like monsterly figure from DC, if they wanted to take a tangent and kind of do not just your run of the mill bright happy superhero, thing.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be kind of cool. Like I am familiar with Swamp Thing, even though I'm not a big DC fan, and I would like to see a live action Swamp Thing, good Swamp Thing.
I
Um,
don't even know what this character is, so I would have to do some research.
yeah, so I don't know like the deep lore of the story, but like I know it's a guy. I think it's a guy. I don't know if he was a scientist or whatever, but like I think it was an experiment went bad or something happened, and he becomes like this swamp creature. Like and I don't even think this was DC related. Maybe it was DC related, but it was like one off. But I also remember back in the day growing up watching on Sci-Fi Channel, there was a TV show called Swamp Thing, and it's probably god awful. I was a kid, but as a kid, I was like, "This is really cool." And so yeah, but yeah, and I've seen comic book art of the original Swamp Thing DC, but
Okay.
yeah, I think he could pull something like that off as well.
My brain immediately went Toxic Avenger. I don't know if you've ever seen those movies, but
I haven't actually. So Peter Dinklage made a movie as with Toxic Avenger, and they talked about it at a Comic Con in 2022, I think.
yeah.
And we to this date don't know when it's getting released. And I actually ran across the internet the other day. I almost put it on our list to talk about, forgot. But yeah, so in he's actually I think getting aggravated too that the Toxic Avenger hasn't had a release date because I think it's already filmed and done.
Oh
But
shit.
yeah, or like it's filmed and maybe there's like, production still needs to be done
Okay.
afterwards.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I think it was filmed in 2022 at least, or maybe last year.
Damn. Maybe they're
Yeah,
just like waiting for that like right time to release it.
maybe. But
I don't know.
I have no knowledge on Toxic Avengers, so
It's ridiculous.
I it's comical, right?
I don't think it's supposed to be.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh, oops.
I don't know. I could be completely mistaken. I definitely did a drinking game when I was watching it, so I
Uh-huh.
couldn't straight up tell you there's like 3 of them and they get worse as they go.
So are these movies from like the 90s or
I don't even know. They're old.
hmm,
They're they're of the older variety. Yeah,
maybe
I
80s? I don't like consider 90s movie old. That makes me feel
no,
old.
I mean, like, so I don't either, cause like, I will look at, like, Curly Sue, that's a
Mhm.
movie that I, like, watched growing up, and I refuse to think that that's an old movie, but then, like, you just realize that nobody knows what that is, and then you're like, "Oh, it's an '80s movie." It's '84.
84.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
could call that old movie then.
So apparently the Toxic Avenger movie did come out in 2023.
Oh, it did. What?
Yep, yep.
I could have swore I read a thing. Who knows? Maybe it was an
I
old
don't know.
article.
I don't know. September 21st, 2023. So it's not a full year yet.
Hmm.
So
I'm
now
gonna
I
have to look
gotta.
this up like afterwards and see
Yeah.
if I can find it.
Yeah, I was just like, huh, that is okay, cool. So that's a thing. It doesn't look like it's streaming on anything, so that's
Huh.
okay. I mean, there's a trailer of it. I'm definitely gonna watch that trailer later.
So James Gunn's been hinting at bringing more MCU stars over to DC.
Oh,
Yep. I think Chris Pratt's one of them. Which we've been seeing Chris Pratt, pictures of him on set, like behind
yeah,
camera, hanging
yeah,
out. I think just chilling. So I really think Gunn's really trying to work on Chris Pratt if he hasn't already got him, secretly involved, coming over to DC. And there's a couple other characters that he's worked with over MCU that I
yeah,
think from the Guardians movies
yeah.
that
That's exactly
he's
what I was about to say. Is
yeah
that
that
it
he's
would make
working
sense with
on.
Chris Pratt because he
Yeah.
worked on all of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. So
Long as he doesn't quit being Star Lord, because I love him as Star Lord, and like I know we're supposed to be getting like next him in the MCU like a standalone Star Lord movie, and like now he's finally back on Earth. Like we can't end it there. Like I have to see this guy adjusting to being on Earth. Like it's got to be hilarious.
but he's no longer Star Lord. He's just Peter Quill.
No, he's still Star Lord.
I mean, he doesn't do the things though.
His mama called him Star Lord, so he will always be her little Star Lord.
Okay,
uh,
okay. I'll
no,
let
I
you
don't.
have
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where they're going to go with it. I don't. But I don't want him to be done. I want to keep him as Peter Quill Star Lord and continue his story. So
it. Okay.
screw you, all you haters that hate Chris Pratt Star Lord.
I don't hate
uh,
him. I just think that they could have possibly done something more, you know?
right. And then last on the list for DC, James Gunn leaked our first look of Jimmy Olsen officially. And if that's not a Jimmy Olsen pose, I don't know what is. But so far, this is probably the the best looking costume that I've seen leaked out on the new Superman movie.
Oh, so this is supposed to be in the new Superman?
Yeah. So this is a Superman Legacy is what
Okay.
this is from, and yeah, James Gunn like brought the picture online. That's him posing dressed up as Jimmy Olsen or whatever.
Mm,
Uh, but yeah, it's about the only outfit I can not pick apart. But I'm not gonna lie, like this guy they depict, I can't think of his name right now,
mhm.
but he's very gives you the Jimmy Olsen vibes.
That's
So
exactly what I was about to say. Like I did some research on who Jimmy Olsen was because
mhm,
I'm not really in the DC verse
right.
as much as I would like to say. Um and like I did like look up to see who Jimmy Olsen is and I
Mhm.
got to see him in the comics and I got to see that photo and I was like, okay. Like it's very comic accurate is like his
Oh
like
yeah,
face and the freckles and everything too.
yeah.
He was in the Righteous Gemstones. If you've never seen that, it's a
Okay.
brilliant show that
Oh
you
really?
have
No,
to
I haven't seen
watch.
that.
Oh, it's so good. It's on HBO.
Okay.
I'll remind you later.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I think that's all we got for DC this week. So,
Yeah.
want to jump into some educated wish entertainment?
Hell yeah.
Let you kick us off.
All right. So, the new Lord of the Rings trailer dropped. Actually, I don't think it's a new one. I think it's actually their first one. Um, so you got to see like the old in the trailer you got to see like the first Lord of the Rings, kind of like the characters and then them transverse into the
Mhm.
animated because this is going to be animated and it looks a lot like anime. It's supposed to come out in December like 13th, I believe. But I love the way that it looks. It's so beautiful. They have like the I can't even remember in Rohan the where the king sits and everything. I don't remember,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it looks beautiful with the way that they colored the sky of the purples and the blue. It just looks absolutely amazing. I really am excited for this now. Like I was excited for it before because I love Lord of the Rings.
Right.
And I was just like, all right, well, like I'm gonna go watch it because I have to. But now seeing this trailer, it makes me even want to go like even more. Like now I'm even more excited for it. Um, what did you think? Did you get to see the trailer?
So I did watch it actually right before we got on the show.
Okay.
So it's gonna be a struggle for me because, as
Okay.
we all know, I'm not a big anime guy. I'm still trying to get myself into it, and I haven't done that yet. And
Yeah.
so, like, I struggle. Huge Lord of the Rings fan, but
Mhm.
like, I struggle with the anime animation.
Okay.
Like, I know you're saying it's beautiful and all that,
Yeah.
and like, so like, but like, you're familiar with that artistic, or the artistry of that style, and
Yeah.
so I'm not. And so one of the things for me with anime, the reason I struggle to get into it is the artistry. It's
Okay.
just not my cup of tea. I am going to watch this, and maybe this is what breaks the ice and gets me into anime. Maybe it's going to be Lord of the Rings of all things. But I'm here for it. I am here for it. Any more storytelling for Lord of the Rings, I'm down for. Uh, but yeah, the animation part, for my own personal opinion, is going to be a little bit of a struggle for me to get used to. But we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be like I think choosy with the animes that you do get to watch. There are so many of them out there, but I am very like particular in
Hmm.
like what I like. But I definitely do like very vivid, colorful like animes.
Sure.
So like if you've never seen Blue Eyed Samurai, that's on Netflix that we talked about in the last episode. Um, like, or was it last? I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's last episode.
um, but anyway, like in that, like it can still be very like grody, very
Hmm.
bloody, if you will.
Well, that it's not necessarily even that for me that like I struggle with is like I don't like very 2D-ish and very choppy animation. And I know anime from what I've seen and kind of played around with like is very choppy animation. Like I like a good flowing animation.
Okay,
Uh so I don't know. That's like South Park. I won't even watch South Park. Never have to this. I've watched maybe half an episode, but I can't alone because I can't stand that style of animation.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And but yeah, I don't know. I'm weird. I'm weird. It's just who I
No,
am.
it's okay. Everybody has their own cups of tea, and if like anime just isn't doing it for you, that's okay. Like everybody nerds off in like their own way.
Right.
Um, but the next thing that we're going to talk about is Ted Lasso.
Oh,
Um, so Ted Lasso has 3 seasons. It was kind of like a COVID-19 kind of show that they made. It's really funny. It's great. It's got like it's got like that character development that you never thought that you would see in this kind of
yes.
movie. But anyway, they have they just announced that they're going to be doing a season 4. And this is supposed to start production in early 2025. So who we already know that is supposed to be in it is Rebecca, so the club owner,
Hmm.
Leslie, her assistant, and I think Roy Kent
Yep.
are
That's the three that's
the
confirmed so far.
yeah. So those 3 are confirmed. The next ones that they're going to go after is Ted Lasso himself, Coach Beard, who's like his assistant that helps him,
Hmm.
as well as Keely Jones, who is my personal favorite. I love her so much. I want to
Jason
be like her when she
Jason
grows up.
Sudeikis better tell them yes and work out a deal because like you can't have Ted Lasso without Ted Lasso.
Right,
And,
100%.
like so, I was late to the game watching Ted Lasso, and I finally watched it for the first time end of last year, I believe. No, no, probably mid last year.
I
And
watched it this year. I'm even
did you?
later. Yeah,
And,
I binge watched
I
the
fell
entire
in love
thing.
with it immediately.
Yeah,
I was like, "Man, I love Jason Sudeikis and his character." I'm like, "The world needs more Ted Lassos." Like, I just love every time he tells a story or he has an analogy to give or, be a goldfish. Like, literally,
that
the dude is so wholesome, and I love how wholesome his character is.
yeah.
Uh but hands down, God, I was so happy when I heard this because I don't know why they even stopped, to be honest with you. I don't think the viewership went down or anything.
No, I think it was the writer strikes and everything that happened. It was kind of
Gotcha.
around that same time as that,
Mm,
because like we had to wait, I think, a couple of weeks, or it might have all been out at that point in time. I don't really remember
uh-huh.
because the rest of it came out in 2023, so last year. So I think that it kind of just like fell into that like weird little spot of that they had like those strikes happening, and is like th- obviously they have every right to do those strikes,
Right, right.
to get better
100%.
rights and everything, but it's always hard to see like the shows that you're watching just immediately like disappear. Like if you've never watched Avenue 5, it's
I've
another
never
one.
seen that.
Oh my god, that is hilarious.
Really? What's that on?
Oh, I think that's on HBO as well.
Okay.
But they only had like 2 seasons come out, and then they stopped. They
Hmm.
canceled the show, and I was like, "Why would they do that? It was such a good show."
Did they leave you hanging too at the end of the
Yes,
last oh my god.
because it
I
wasn't
don't know
supposed
if
to
I
be
should
the
watch
end.
that.
Yeah, it's I mean, like, you never know if they are ever gonna, like, restart it back up
Sure. I mean,
or,
look at
like,
Dexter.
continue.
I mean,
Dexter, I don't know if they're gonna continue on with, like, Space Force. I don't know. I love, like, a good comedy, like,
mhm.
TV show. So Ted Lasso is obviously, like, up there for me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was very happy that we stumbled across that and binge watched it, and then we had to wait for, like, a couple of episodes to come out, and we were like, "Oh, this is the worst."
So also, I know this ain't really like big news or anything, but Fantastic Four is hot and heavy. Joseph Quinn, he's got a pretty big fan base from Fantastic Four, but then Game of Thrones and then Stranger Things is Eddie. But apparently it's official that he is dating Doja Cat now.
Oh,
They were spotted, and yeah, so they are dating, and I'm sure it's gonna be all kinds of paparazzi over them now.
most likely, yes, especially with this new movie coming out. I don't
Oh
really
yeah.
follow, like, celebrities like that, but I love her. She's, like, a really
Mm.
cool person.
I think they're
I got
both cool, great people. So,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't really know much about him, other than, like, I saw that he was, which I never knew this before,
uh,
until, like, researching a little bit on this, is that he actually was the kid that wore, like, the, Hellfire Club shirt in Stranger Things that did,
yeah,
like, the guitar.
Johnson, yeah,
Yeah, I was like, "That's the same guy?"
yeah, yeah. Because
I was
he has that wig and stuff on. He looks so different.
I was so shocked, dude. I'm afraid to tell you how shocked I was. Like, I just sat there and just stared at it. I was like, ah. But yeah.
Yeah. So I can't wait to see his Johnny Storm because we see him playing Eddie in Stranger Things. So he had just a small role in Game of Thrones, really. But then playing Johnny Storm, it's really going. I think it's going to truly show his range of acting
Mhm.
because I mean that's going to be some huge character differences. So I'm super anxious and can't wait to see. I'm ready. I'm just ready. Hopefully, in the first trailer, we get to see a little taste of it. We ain't got to
Yeah.
wait too long.
Oh man, I can't wait for that first trailer to come out.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah. So the next thing we're going to talk about is John Williams. He has a new documentary also coming out. It's called In the Music by John Williams.
Nice.
Um, so this is going to come out also on November 1st, but it's going to be on Disney Plus.
Mm.
So it's supposed to premiere at a music, or not a music festival, but a film festival. Um, on like October 25th before it comes out onto Disney Plus.
Mm.
Um, but it, I mean, I love John Williams. I recently showed you the John Williams is the Man YouTube video.
Yes, I can't believe
Um,
I've never seen that.
I can't believe you never seen that, man.
My life
I
was
was
changed.
I was so shocked when you were like, "Yeah, man, I've
It's
never
been out
seen
for a
this."
long time too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, like, I watched that back, I don't even know, I was in middle school or high school. I don't even remember the first time I saw it was, but, the there's a guy that does, like, acapella, if you've never seen it. You should definitely check it out because it's hilarious. Um, but he sings pretty much all about, Star Wars 4, and it's
Mm,
all to the tunes of different John Williams movies. So you have
yeah.
Jaws, and you have Indiana Jones, and you have obviously Star Wars.
And the lyrics are
Um,
so funny that he comes up with.
yes, yeah, it's brilliant. It's beyond brilliant. I'm so happy that I found that, or my dad actually found it, and it
Oh,
was kind
really?
of around the
Nice.
same time of like the evolution of
Right.
dance that came out, and Daft Punk with the people that drew like the words on the skin and then like would do the dance
Mm-hmm.
and stuff.
The Yeah, they do the like what the quicker, faster, stronger,
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
yeah. So like, yeah, I'm excited to see this because I love music. I can say it over and over again, and it wouldn't explain how much I love music, and it's been
Mm.
such a big part of my life. Um, so knowing that there's going to be this other documentary out, and it's about John Williams, I'm ready for it.
And what he orchestrates such beautiful music. I
Yeah,
mean, like when you hear music, you almost every time it's John Williams, you can tell it's John Williams without even seeing his name somewhere. So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
got
It's the same
got
thing
that
with like,
signature sound.
yeah, it's the same thing with like Hans Zimmer. Like
Mm,
that it's a Zimmer.
mhm.
It's that like creepy eerie like side of things. So Inside Out 2. I don't know if you saw it, but it has beat out Frozen 2
To date,
overseas. Yeah.
is the biggest animated project ever made anywhere.
Yeah, it
Billion
reached
worldwide.
1 billion overseas.
That's
Obviously more
wild.
stateside, but yeah, it's like the second week in a row that it's been top of the charts like
Mhm.
overseas, which is amazing, especially for an animated film. Because you kind of don't like really expect that out of an animated film. Um, and
What's
it took
crazy
Frozen too. So
Well, what's crazy is, like, to see the sequel to it, and, like, the first one was really good. Like, I
mhm,
I I I love the first Inside Out, and, so I'm curious what the streaming numbers are on Inside Out 1, because
yeah.
if it's Inside Out 2 is doing this well, and it's topped any animated project to date ever been made worldwide, in money, the streaming numbers for the first one's gotta be even, like, took a giant leap up, like,
Oh,
had to.
100%. Yeah.
Because to me, the first one I still haven't seen the second yet, and I plan on seeing it as soon as it comes to streaming, but, literally, the first one was phenomenal. So, I don't s I feel like it deserves the same love.
Yeah. No, I definitely know that I usually, like, will watch the first one before
Mhm.
going to go watch or, like, the first and second and
Oh,
or so
yeah.
on and so forth.
Kinda like we did with
Um,
Alien.
yes,
Yeah.
100%, just like Alien. I was like, "Oh, man, I gotta watch Prometheus, and I gotta watch Covenant, and then I gotta watch Alien, and then I gotta watch Aliens to see where it goes." Um, but, this is a phenomenal movie. I really loved it. I'm so glad that I got to go see it, and it definitely got me in the feels, so, like, I think that you'll appreciate it, eh,
I
if
can't
you
wait.
like Inside Out 1. And I think that like the numbers for ones usually
Mhm.
aren't as high, just because people are like afraid to see,
Something new.
yeah, because you
That
don't
makes
really know if
sense.
it's going to be good or bad, like The Crow
Right.
and so on and so forth.
Uh, so Happy Gilmore 2?
Yeah,
Adam
that's the
Sandler's
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, so I'll be honest, Adam Sandler's a very hit and miss person for me.
Yes.
Uh, I'm probably gonna get hate in the comments for saying this, but I'm gonna say it. I think Adam Sandler's slightly overrated. Uh, I love Billy Madison. I love probably 50% of his films, but the other 50%, I'm just like, meh. But
Yeah.
Happy Gilmore 2 is a great one. It's the big epic Bob Barker fight. So, but
I don't even
I
know if he's actually supposed to be in number 2 yet. Is he still
who?
alive?
Oh no,
Bob Barker.
he's passed away.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
then
yeah,
there you go. He's
yeah.
not gonna be in number 2.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little hard. I mean,
I
I
mean, they
guess
might have, like, flashbacks or
technology does wonders nowadays, so. But, yeah, I'm curious to see where they're gonna pick up with the storyline or where they're going because there's been such a giant time,
yeah,
gap in between the first one and now.
yeah.
Uh, but I think it's going to do. I think it's going to probably do great because Adam Sandler does have a huge fan base.
Mhm.
And then Happy Gilmore 2 was. I think a lot of people are going to go see this for nostalgia. Which actually, I don't know if this is coming to theaters. Is this actually going streaming? I think it's going straight to streaming, isn't it?
Yeah. Straight to
Yep,
streaming on Netflix on November 15th.
that's right. Is it this year?
No,
Next
because
year?
this year is
Almost
August.
over. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Duh. Uh,
Yeah, no,
just
it's
forget
supposed
I
to
said
be
anything.
it's supposed to be next year. The original came out in 1996, so it's almost a
Mm,
full, what is that, 30 years?
God, Jesus.
29 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Long, long, long time ago.
Yeah. So, I don't know like how they're gonna do it, or if he's gonna be like the dad of the guy that's now
Mm,
golfing, or what they're gonna do,
right.
or if he's gonna be like a trainer to train the next like golfer.
Right.
Um, I don't know, man. I'm excited to see
I am.
it, because I mean it's gonna be on Netflix, so like why not? As long as you have Netflix.
Yeah. It's not like you're going to go to theater and be pissed you spent money or nothing.
Right. Yeah. And
If
it,
it, if
and
it flops.
it might be god awful, but the last
Mm.
time that I saw Adam Sandler in anything was Uncut Gems, and that was he played a serious role in that, and I
Yeah.
was
Yeah. I
like,
actually did see that.
wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good movie.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I actually did enjoy it. And it was one of those I didn't watch when it first came out,
Yeah.
but I watched it later. And I was like, okay, I'm, I'm, I'm actually a little surprised. So, oh, so Alien Romulus is actually for 2024 as the biggest movie in the second biggest movie in the box office over in China. So this movie's doing great everywhere,
Yeah.
and I guess it's pretty big for China too. Like I'm not sure what the number one is, but yeah, it just hit
It's
number two.
Godzilla v Kong.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I'm happy for this movie, man. I'm glad. I hope it does well, and I hope they keep pumping us out some more Alien projects. So,
Yeah.
uh, also Blumhouse is just at was it Universal Studios, I believe.
Mhm.
They actually just put out a teaser for its debut of Wolfman,
Yeah.
and get a little house. We get to see what the lettering is going to look like. Man, I'm excited for this. I I want to see a recreation of not just this, but of a monster verse. And if Blumhouse wants to be the one to do it, let them. Like, I mean, we all love them over here at Fundamentals. I mean,
Yes.
majority of their stuff, and Universal attempted to recreate the monster verse, and then Tom Cruise had to go screw it up with his Mummy movie, and so they gave up and quit. So let them. Like, I hope that's the plan. And I love how like this is more like old style monster verse as well. So I'm super pumped.
So this is the same director that did Invisible Man, and I loved Invisible Man, like the remake.
Yeah.
I really do like it. So I can't wait to see what they do with it. The Bloomhouse apparently was like really afraid to redo like some scary movies, because they did like Renfield, and
Mm.
it was a flop, and
Yeah.
so so like they were scared to do another scary movie.
Mm.
But I've never watched like Wolfman was like a show or movie back then.
Yeah,
Back
yeah. It was a movie. I
Okay.
mean, if I'm not mistaken, I mean the original Wolfman was actually black and white. Like that's how far back it goes.
Goddamn. Well,
Yeah.
no, I've never seen it. But Universal Studios does something called Halloween Horror Nights.
Hmm.
Every like Halloween time frame. It kind of starts in like September ish time frame, and it goes until like I think the week after Halloween, where they like after the park closed, they let people in. And it's just like a bunch of like horror houses, scary houses, or whatever they're called, because I
Hmm.
can't think of the name right now. Um, and I've been twice in my life, and it was great. I enjoyed it both times. So
I've
I'm
never
excited.
been.
It's a good time. It's a good time, man. Um, I'm excited to see if they make this into a house, or if they
Mm.
just make it like an area, or if this is all that they're gonna do is just this display so people can take photos and that's it.
Interesting. Uh, yeah, you said that about the Invisible Man. Or what was the movie called? Was it just called Invisible?
Invisible Man.
It was Invisible Man. Yeah,
Mhm.
that was pretty edgy on your seat. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, that was pretty good for
'Cause
real.
you thought she was going crazy, she was talking to herself,
Right,
and
right.
then Adrian was actually there, and then you're
Yeah,
like, "Oh,
and
shit."
wasn't that the main chick on that, the chick from the Handmaid's Tale? I think.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I
and
love her. She
yeah,
she's got a
she's a great
great acting
actress.
chops. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. So, Todd Phillips apparently was going to be the one directing a Hulk Hogan film,
A
and
biopic, if you will.
oh yeah, biopic. But Chris Hemsworth is supposed to be portraying Hulk Hogan. But
Yep.
yeah, he just announced that he's dropping from it. He's not directing it. So
Yeah.
this is one of those things. I think that they initially started this in 2020. I believe is when Chris Hemsworth like started working out, started sharing posts, and started talking about he's going to be portraying Hulk Hogan. I mean,
Mm.
here we are, 2024, 2025 is on us. Director just dropped out 4 years later of the announcement of this project. I wonder if this is even going to happen now.
So Chris Hemsworth has said that he's still in it. Like, he's still ready for it to go. The script is already done. Like,
Right.
they just need to find another director
Yeah.
and just, like, knock it out. But, there actually is, like, another Hulk Hogan documentary that's
Hmm.
being made, and that's by Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, oddly enough.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh.
so they're supposed to, make a Hulk Hogan, like, documentary, so I'm wondering if, like, they're just gonna use Chris Hemsworth or
Right.
just kinda, like, merge the projects. I'm not really sure what they're gonna do with this, but,
I
uh
can't really picture Chris Hemsworth portraying him. I just can't.
you've seen him as Fit Thor, Fat Thor.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I can picture him as in like being in shape for it,
Mm.
but just the face and then talking like him. Like I don't know if I can picture that. I don't know if I want to see that actually. Bleach blonde, long hair, and a handlebar mustache, and oh yeah, brother.
Hell
Like
yeah, brother.
yeah, man. I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see what happens if anything happens. But it sounds like I mean something's probably going to happen. I didn't realize it was like completely written and like Chris is like sticking to it. So
Yeah,
it probably
he's
will.
very much like, "I
Why don't he?
wanna
Why
do
don't he just
this."
direct it himself and star in it?
Is he a director?
No, but how many
Oh,
actors we know that are like jumping into the director and producer seats nowadays? I mean, it's quite a few. So
yeah, yeah,
why not put it
there's a
in
lot.
your resume, Chris? You got this.
Yeah.
So next on the list, Chick-fil-A, the Lord's Chicken, as we all know, is talking about not just giving us dinner, but giving us movie and a dinner. And they are going to start their own streaming service.
Ooh.
Woo. So ask and you shall receive.
I don't
I
know
get
who asked for
I
this.
don't know who asked for this. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I love Chick-fil-A, don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, but I don't really care about a streaming service. They're supposed to be bringing a streaming service, and as we all know, they're about being over the top, family friendly staff. At all the restaurants. And don't get me wrong, some of the nicest staff you'll ever meet,
Mhm.
uh, at any establishment there's I've been to, and their chicken's great, but the streaming service is supposed to be, I think, just friendly family movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
So they're just trying to spread that wholesome goodness around the world, I think.
They
Uh,
also, were talking about, like, making their own, like, game show. I don't know
really?
if you remember, but, like, McDonald's used to have that, like, Ronald McDonald, like, TV show kind of thing.
No.
Okay, so there it was called, like, The Wacky Adventures of Ronald McDonald or something like that, where you got to see the Hamburglar, and it
Right?
was, like, a whole thing,
Huh,
but it was by the same person that made Rugrats, so that was, like, the animation style. Um, so I'm, like, wondering if, like, Chick-fil-A is gonna make their own
mm,
series, but with, like, a cow.
right? Try and get you to eat more chicken.
Right.
No,
Um,
the videos I've seen of of McDonald characters is on YouTube from Waka Waka, and you do not want probably want to see a lot of those. It's
Ugh.
Ronald McDonald getting very violent.
Oh my god. All
And
right. Well,
yeah, they're hilarious, but they are, woo, yeah.
oh man.
Chick-fil-A would not approve. Let me just tell you this.
Doesn't sound like they would.
But yeah, yeah, it's
So
wild. When you said that about Chick-fil-A streaming service, I was like, get out of here. That's that is so off course from a chicken restaurant, a streaming service. But
you're
hey,
just
I
like sitting
mean,
here like enjoying your day and you're like, I'm gonna go see the crow tomorrow. And I'm like, hey, by the way, did you know that Chick-fil-A is gonna
yeah.
have a streaming service? And you're like,
It, yeah, and you
mm.
came up with some great one-liners, slogans for them that like I think they need to hire you. Just bring you one for their marketing team. Uh
The funny
yeah.
thing is I just like would look at like other so like it was like Papa John's, better ingredients, better pizza, and I was like
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A, better chicken, better movies, or something like that. It's just stupid. It was bad. Don't tell them to hire me. I would
I
fail
can't
at
even
that
remember
job.
all the lines. I have to go back in our chat and look later, but like it's pretty funny. Like I yeah. Anyway, so I can go on about that and just make it fun and laughing. But like, hey, kudos to them want to spread their wings and you know be even more of an entrepreneur and do other things. So
Spread their nuggets.
all right, so Sonic Sonic the Hedgehog 3 trailer dropped today, and we are getting Keanu Reeves voicing Shadow.
Mhm.
So I watched this trailer a while ago, and I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I like the Sonic movies. I
Yeah.
think they're great. Idris Elba voices Knuckles,
Mhm.
uh, and I could be wrong. I mean, the first movie's the best one to me still by far, but I think this one, the trailer is good. If the movie's anything like the trailer, like hypes it up to be, this
Mhm.
might top the other two. We get Jim Carrey back as Robotnik, and he's actually put on the weight this time, so we don't have
Yep.
a skinny Robotnik, a little bit slightly more comic accurate. I don't know if they can ever get someone that quite round, but mustache looking great, shaves the head, he's bald. It looks phenomenal. I mean, Shadow is sick looking. The fight
Mhm.
scenes that we get to see,
His
uh,
lines that you already hear, you're like, "Oh,
oh
yeah,
yeah,
that's Keanu.
oh yeah.
That's Keanu."
There's no denying it for real. Then at the end, you can see Robotnik gets to meet his dad or his grandpa.
It's his dad. Yeah.
Yes, his dad. And he's like, "It's me in the saggy flesh," and I think is Jim Carrey playing both of them. It is,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So, have you ever watched Lemony Snicket?
Oh yeah. Yep.
So that
The movie where he played.
immediately yeah, so where he played Count Olaf, so that
Yeah,
immediately gave me those vibes where he was, like, the young guy, but then he was also the
Y-
old guy.
yeah.
Oh my god. I was like, "Oh, this is gonna
I
be
love Jim
good."
Carrey. Like he's
Yeah.
another fan favorite like comedian that he shows a pretty decent range of acting too. Because I mean, we've seen him do serious in the Truman Show. I love the Truman Show, so good.
Mhm.
But and he's also just a great comedian. I mean, I've pretty crazy Riddler, in Batman Forever, but still iconic. Such an iconic actor.
Yeah. I mean, seeing him in Yes Man, he did a great role in that, and then,
Mm.
like, the one that I grew up with was The Mask.
Oh my god, yeah, smoking. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love The Mask.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
it, it
man.
it's so corny, but I'm here for it. I love corny to a
I will
certain degree.
watch that every year. Like, I don't
Mhm.
care. That is, like, an amazing movie. I loved, Cameron Diaz growing up. Like, she was my
Right.
celebrity crush. Um, so I was like, "She looks amazing, like, drop dead gorgeous in this
Right.
movie." And then here you have, like, "Look, ma, I'm roadkill." Just, like, the crazy one-liners, they're just like, did he improvise, like, some of those? Like, probably because
Probably.
it's
I can see him being that guy.
yeah.
So,
Oh my god, yeah. Um, but did you see that Spaceball 2 is in development?
yeah, so Josh Gad, is writing the script right now, and he actually what he's got written so far, he presented it to, Mel Brooks,
Mhm.
and literally his reaction to it was he said Mel's exact words to him was, "Your finger's right on the pulse." And so, like, that's pretty much greenlit by Mel, like, and
That's great.
Josh Gad's great. I like him. We all know he voices Olaf. It's probably one of his most epic. And he what Beauty and the Beast. He plays the movie, the live action one. Gaston's little sidekick. I can't think of his name.
Oh, oh, the guy with the big nose.
Yes. Oh, I'm drawing a blank right now. Oh,
No.
I cannot believe I'm forgetting this. But anyways, and he's been in plenty of comedy movies. But
Yeah.
yeah, he's the one writing the script, and I'm curious if he's going to be in it. Like if he's going to place himself in it. Like I almost feel like he's going to.
I I kind of like, how familiar are you with like the original like Spaceball?
No, so I can't speak a whole lot on it, to be honest with you. So I've seen
Okay.
parts and bits and pieces of it like back
Okay.
when I was younger, and
Mhm.
it's one of those I know like it's a nostalgic like fan fave. That's not necessarily good, but it's nostalgic. So like I need to go back and rewatch it because I've never actually sat through the whole entire movie. But like visually, I know what the characters look like in it.
Okay. Well, there's like this one-off character that I think it would be funny to just kind of have him there, but like that way he doesn't have like a huge role and has to do like
Mhm.
everything as well as like right. Um, but there's this like one part where they're like looking for Lone Star, who is Han Solo.
Mhm.
And and they throw like a bottle of jam into their like satellite, and he said, "We've been jammed." So like I think that that would, because like he literally like runs his finger across and like licks it, and he's like, we lost the beeps, the squeaks, and the creeps, and he goes, and I think that would be hilarious to like actually watch him do that. I don't know, like this is like the movie is playing in my mind right now, and that's what I think of right now, that he would be really funny in as a part in, and it's not as big of a role, but he was still
Right.
very much in the movie.
I wonder if they'll have Rick Moranis in it again.
Oh man, what if he's yogurt instead
What?
of Mel Brooks?
I don't know.
Or Mel Brooks. I mean, Mel Brooks is producing this, so what if Mel Brooks actually plays Yogurt again?
Hmm.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, I need to. I'll watch it this year because like knowing that they're also making a sequel, I gotta brush up on that.
Well, we don't know exactly when it's going to come out yet. It's still in
Sure.
development, but I mean, I know that you love Star Wars,
Oh yeah,
and
huge Star Wars fan.
um and if you liked the
Family
acapella
Guy.
singing,
Oh
and that
yeah,
too. Yeah,
yeah. I was gonna
yeah.
say the Family Guy version of Star Wars, like Blue Harvest and all that. Like, even though it was like I love the parody of that, so
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm gonna love this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's great, and I mean, like, a couple of the people that originally were in it, like John
Mhm.
Candy and Joan Rivers, have passed away since
Right.
this movie, but I'm excited to see what they do with it, because like he announced it at the Fan Expo Canada in Toronto.
Yep.
So like just to see what they do with it,
Mhm.
I'm scared, but at the same time, I'm here for it, because that I grew
Right.
up with that movie. Like that is very much where a lot of my humor comes from.
Speaking of things we grew up on, I am so ready for Beetlejuice too. But
Yeah.
man, I keep seeing I keep watching the trailer over and over accidentally as it comes across my YouTube, and
Sure
like
you do.
I just
Mhm.
cannot wait. But so Michael Keaton did a parody type skit with him and Beetlejuice as hot ones, but they call it not ones. We don't have the full clip because we want you to go look it up. Go like
Yes.
it. Go look it up. Give them the love. I think this is hilarious. But I'm gonna show a small little clip real quick.
Well, hi. First of all, welcome to the show. How long is this going to take? I got to get to the spa. Wow. Okay. Who are some of your influences? Well, Napoleon was a pal.
Like it's so freaking funny.
The amount of hot sauce it just like throws on all of the hot wings.
Well, there's like a
And
point I think he's like drinking the hot sauce straight out of the bottle.
yes, he straight up did. He was just like, after like he asked that, and he's like Napoleon, and then like he takes like the giant ass swig. And then I think Michael Keaton might have asked another question, but before like it cuts to black, like Beetlejuice, he was like, I got one question for you. And he's like, yeah, what is it? And he's like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah,
And then like it just goes black, and I was just like, oh my god.
And they use some CGI effects. Like there's one time he passes gas and you see flames coming out, and
Yeah.
then there's one time you see smoke rolling out of his ears, and he's like,
Yeah.
"You all right over there?" I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Well, why wouldn't I be? like, I'm so ready. Like I'm loving the marketing for this, but
Yeah.
God, I
I
can't wait
mean,
till this
like it
movie comes
literally
out.
comes out next week.
Yeah, is it
It's
next
called
week?
Yeah.
Oh crap! I'm even more excited. I still think I thought it was a couple weeks out, but like,
No,
yeah.
dude, it's September 6th. It's next Friday.
Oh heck yeah! We are definitely all having to watch it that weekend. Talk about it the
Oh,
upcoming
yeah.
Thursday.
No, I already have plans to go to a drive-in to go see it on Sunday.
Yes. Yes. Oh man, but yeah. Last on the list for Educated Wish Entertainment, Transformers One. So it's an animated series. Chris Hemsworth is voicing in it. Some pretty big name actors in it. Forgive me for not writing them all down, but this is actually like good. Like I haven't seen it. It's not out yet. Obviously, it comes out in September, but
Yeah.
early reviews, critic reviews, some YouTubers and stuff have already gotten to seen it, and like they say it's good. Like I follow Soups on TikTok, and he's screened it, and he's like, there's parts in this that are emotional actually, and he's like, this goes back to when he's like, you don't expect this out of a Transformers
Right.
movie. He's like, and then he's like, it's animated, but the stories that take place prior to our live action movies, and I think it's you get to see like Optimus Prime and Megatron actually being friends before they became enemies, and
Mhm.
how I think how they became enemies. And he's like, there's actually some pretty emotional moments in it, and he's like, and for it being animated, he's like, it's so good. Like he praised it up and down pretty high. And then I seen a deal today with some other early screening critics, and it's getting high reviews.
Yeah.
So I'm anxious to see it. Like at first, I'm not gonna lie, I actually didn't have no plans to go see this.
Yeah.
I like the Transformers cartoons. I didn't like I watched them as a kid. I wasn't like heavy into the lore, but I watched them as a kid, enjoyed them, had toys. Uh, I've enjoyed the live action, regardless how good or bad storytelling is. It's just if there's a Transformers movie being made, I'm gonna go see it.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm actually looking forward to this now, and so I'm gonna make sure I go see it at theaters.
I did see a Reddit post where like they started a thread, um and like the post had said like I got to see like an early screening of Transformers 1, and I want to say that it is got to be the best like Transformers movie that I've seen. I'm like,
Really? Oh
ooh.
wow!
Yeah.
Dang.
I mean, like, to be honest, though, like, out of the Transformers movies, like, you know that you're not going to a Transformer movie that's coming out, like, tomorrow or whatever.
Hmm.
You're not going to go watch it for the story. You're
No.
going to go watch it for the explosions and to watch robots fuck each other up. Like, that is.
Explosions and nostalgia. I mean, because like to me, that's one of those things. It just reminds me of my childhood,
Yeah.
and I'll forever love Transformers, no matter how bad they get. So,
Oh, my God.
well, I mean,
Yeah.
Michael Bay, that's what he's known for is his explosions. I mean, let's be honest with you. Like, anyways, I'm not gonna get in that tangent. Like, but who? And then I think Transformers 2 is one of those you'll have a lot of people defended the movies, and you get a lot of people hate on them. So it's a
Yeah.
very split fandom.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, like, I don't hate the movies. I watch every single one of them.
Hmm.
Like it doesn't matter for me. Like I didn't grow up watching Transformers.
Gotcha.
Um I grew up with my dad talking about Transformers a lot,
Right.
and how when he was a kid he used to like mold them and go and would keep
Right.
doing it until like it was all together. Like he would tell us that like all the time, but I didn't like watch the first one. I didn't watch a Transformers anything until like the first movie came out.
Right.
And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." Like, and I like continued to watch like all of them. So, yeah,
Nice.
man.
Well, you ready to geek out on some gaming?
Cheers. All right. So we have a couple of things that we're going to talk about for today. The first thing that we're going to talk about actually is Destiny, because that's the newest and biggest thing that's going on right now. So Destiny 2 had their Act 3 released today. And if you guys didn't know, there is a new exotic mission, and everything is pretty much a trap. Like, you would go down one way thinking that like you needed to go there, and you actually didn't. There are a couple of new weapons. This is the machine gun that I actually got, and it sounds badass.
It looks badass.
It sounds deadly as fuck, dude. It I don't even know how else to explain it, but so like one of the parts of the mission is that you have to go defeat a bunch of Vex with solar weapons, and I was like, big bet. So we landed into the Vault of Glass raid just to crowd to just like destroy some crowds and its constant like waves. So we landed in there, and like AD took like the top right and I took the bottom left, and I just was sitting there and I was using the rocket sidearm. That's a solar one that I talked about in the other episode that had just recently come out. I was using that first, but then like a big ass Cyclops was in my face, and I was like, oh shit. So then I like whipped out like my machine gun, and I was like and like my sound was like loud, and when like I did it, AD's like was all quiet over there, and we got to hear it, and we were like, what the fuck? it was amazing. The new storyline that came out, it's interesting. I can't wait to see where they take it, because like it just kind of seems more along the lines of like, oh shit, something's about to go down, and knowing the storyline of, we don't really know what happens after this, because like because of all the layoffs and everything that's been going on, they haven't really announced anything for us to look forward to. It's kind of scary, but at least we have a couple of weeks of this, if not like a whole month, I think, because usually it's like 4 weeks for an act. But that's out, and it's great. I got to play some of it today before jumping on this podcast.
Probably so gonna go right back to it afterwards, huh?
Oh yeah. Oh, 100% yes, I will be. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is Star Wars Outlaws, sorry. So this comes out on August 30th. So in just 3 short days. So right now the beta is actually open. So if you pre-order it, you can actually go and play it right now. It's going to be $69.99. It's a 3D open world adventure game. It's coming out on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. It's a single player video game, so not like you can't really play with your friends. So this is a picture of like that open world that I was talking about. And Unisoft is actually the developer of this game. So the same people that have developed Assassin's Creed. A cool thing about this is it's one of the first Star Wars games that is a Star Wars game without having to have lightsabers in it. She doesn't have a lightsaber.
Right.
So I'm interested to see like the gameplay on that. I'm sure that people are probably playing it on Twitch right now. So keep your eye out on that if you like Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'll probably buy that one.
Dude, it really does look good. I love a good open world game. Like I love to loot things and just fuck shit up, like honestly. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is Marvel Rivals. So there's the next 3 games were all talked about at the latest gaming convention that happened last weekend. So this is going to be free to play. It comes out on December 6th. The trailer released at this con, and you get to see Doctor Doom in it.
Oh wow, the artwork is a different take than what we're used to seeing. So yeah.
This is also a PlayStation, Xbox, PC game. I don't know if it's cross-platform. I did not research that. But it's going to be like a superhero team based on PvP shooters. So it's going to be a 6v6. Here are some of the people that you can see. You have Captain America, Storm, and the Hulk, just to name off a few. And the categories that you have for your players are your like strategist.
Yeah, you're good.
Strategist, duelist, and vanguard. So I'm interested to see
Huh.
really how those like play out. If the strategist is kind of like bomb setters, or if they're kind of like the ones that kind of hang back and give you kind of those heals.
Right.
Whereas like vanguard are like your big heavy hitters. Not
And
really
what platform you said this is coming out on?
all three.
Oh, all three. Okay, wow.
So
I'll
this,
probably buy this one too.
I mean, you don't even have to buy it. It's just free.
Oh,
It's free
really?
to play, and
Okay.
all of the characters are all free. Like you just have to actually play the game in order to play it.
Mhm.
It does look kind of the same, like from what I've been seeing anyway. It looks kind of like an Overwatch where it's a 6v6, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, the developer from this is somebody that hasn't like really made any actual games like that. They
Right.
only make mobile games, so this is what it looks like to be their first like big actual console game.
Interesting. So this could be a make or break debut of
Yeah,
their future.
yeah, but that's December 6th, so actually quite close as compared to like usually what we hear about for video games.
Yeah.
So Borderlands 4. We heard about the terrible Borderlands movie, but did you know that Borderlands 4 was actually teased at this gaming convention?
Did not.
And this was the only thing that they showed.
That's
Um,
it?
yeah. So as far as I could find out on the internet, like this is the only photo that you could find. It's just a teaser that like it's coming.
Right.
We know it's supposed to be in 2025, but we don't really know much else about it.
I bet they don't make a movie about it.
I don't see why they would.
I'm waiting on that to come streaming too.
So the last thing that I want to talk about is Dune Awakening. So this is a open world survival game. It's supposed to be only on PC at this point in time. It does kind of look like it possibly is eventually coming to Xbox and PlayStation, but as of right now, it's just going to be a PC game. The gameplay was actually revealed at this gaming convention. It's supposed to come out in early of 2025. It's it's an open world game, but like you have like hundreds of people. Have you ever played Star Wars Battlefront?
Yes. Yep. 1 and 2.
Okay, so a lot like that, where you just had like those
Okay.
masses of just like it looks like it's fucking crazy.
Right.
Obviously, right now they didn't show that gameplay at the convention just because it's very much still in development. And like there weren't like multiple people playing it; it was just one person like gameplay. But it's supposed to be a world of like hundreds of other players, and then there's also supposed to be a story. So it did
Huh.
remind me a lot about like a Battlefront, because Battlefront
Yeah.
had both of those.
Definitely sounds like that.
And the storyline is actually going to be the alternative storyline from Dune. So in Dune, you know that like the mother, like she had Paul Atreus.
Right.
So the son. So in this storyline, she has a daughter, and that's where we're at.
All right. Quite a bit of stuff on games coming up then.
Yeah.
And
that was
believe it or
only
not, me not being a big
scratching.
gaming person, I'm actually looking forward to like half of these.
That was just scratching the surface too of what I found. I was just like, all right, like let me just pick and choose a couple of things, and
I'm still waiting for
shoot
that
it in there.
Wolverine game to come out too. Yeah, I think we've been seeing teasers and a small clip trailer from it for like 2 years now, I think. And I actually don't know if there is a release date for it or not, but I'm so ready for that game to come out. Been waiting for a long time.
Yeah. So earlier this year, there was a video game called like Tales of the Shire. That's supposed to be a Lord of the Rings kind of looking like Animal Crossing, but you play with like your friends and go around in like the Shire.
Yeah.
So it looked amazing, and everything that like the website has, it still says 2024, but it doesn't say what date. So we're in August, pretty much September at this point, and I'm like, can I please get a date so I know how much it is? Like if I can pre-order it. Like
Right.
I want to play this game. Love Lord of the Rings, like we already said, and I played Animal Crossing a lot. Like I played it a lot when it first came out, or I guess when I stumbled upon it, I played it for like a full year, nonstop.
I've never
Like,
played it.
it's addictive, or at least I guess it was for me.
Well, I know I know what people have played it and like they were addicted to it, like
Yeah.
bad.
I mean, I wasn't bad. Like I would go to work.
But play it while I'm at work.
No. I wouldn't. I would never do that. I have integrity. But yeah, like I need to know more about this game. Just because like they had a trailer come out, they had like some gameplay come out, and it's just been sitting like that since like I think April.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, cool. It's almost like we're almost next year now. Like I need something. I'll just play Destiny until then, so it's fine.
Keep on waiting.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's it for today.
Yes, I think so.
It's quite a bit of different news. And then be looking for the episode tomorrow to drop for us talking about The Crow. And we'll see how that goes.
Good luck.
But we'll catch everybody next time.
Peace.